Sometimes we find a wonderful way to share data that's not a spreadsheet. But sometimes life gets in the way and we have to use the Excel format when sharing documents. Luckily, we have a tool at our disposal for these situations. There's a Python library for reading and writing spreadsheets. It's called OpenPyExcel. The CSV writer module will only write CSV files. You cannot create an Excel formatted XLS or XLSX file with the CSV writer. To write out to XLS or XLSX formatted files, you will need to use OpenPyExcel or similar libraries. You can install files from the Python package index using pip install and then the package name. And once you have it installed, you could then import that library at the beginning of your Python files. So I'm going to clear that console. I'm going to create a new file for this video. Import OpenPyExcel. And then we're going to go ahead and import from OpenPyExcel some items that we're going to use here. We want to import the workbook object. We also want to import the Excel writer object. And then also one more helper function from OpenPyExcel to help us figure out what column letter to work with. So we're going to create a function called saveSpreadsheet. To use a function, we're going to pass in a string argument for the file name, because we want to know where to write out the file. And then we also want an argument for the data sample. So it's still standard like all the other functions we wrote for this stage. In order to use OpenPyExcel to write spreadsheets, we have to first create a workbook object and then an active worksheet, or define an active worksheet. So WB equals workbook and worksheet WS equals workbook.active. Next, we work with nested loops to export the data cell by cell. So in a grid-like pattern, very organized, systematically writing out the output. Excel uses letters to go across columns A through Z and numbers to go down the rows 1 through however many rows. The first loop that we're going to write, the outer loop, will let us work with one row at a time. And then the second and inner loop we write will help us work with one item of each row at a time. We're going to work with variables to figure out the column index to get the column letter. And we're going to start with 1. And then each time we get to a new field, we want to get the column index to also increase. So we're going to plus equals 1. And then, of course, we want the outer loop to increase the row index as well. Now, the column index and the row index are really important when you write out to the worksheet cell. We need that information. And we're going to use the string formatting function as well. We're going to pass in 2 values. The first value will be the column letter, like A. And the second will be the row index, like 1. So A1, and then B1, C1, D1, etc. I want to set that value, the cell value, equals to the field that we're currently reading from our data sample. At the end of this function, we can now save to the file name. We're going to test out this function with a new data sample. Let's try a new brand, Python. Let's save our file into the data directory, and let's say s4 pythonties.xlsx python s4v3 .py. Oops, I have a typo. I think it was filter column by string, not defined. Oh, we need to make sure we import all the work that we did before. So let's also import from s4v2 import all. Oh, yes, it was filter column by string. I clear this. I believe I have another typo. Oh, actually, I don't want this in there. I want this outside there. We can't open spreadsheets on workspaces, so what we have to do is go to File, Download Workspace, and download our project. So with this file, you could probably open it in something like Google Docs. But that's how you would be able to access your Excel spreadsheets. All right, let's clear this console again and close the file now that we're done.